Hey there. So, as you see, I am freezing. I figured I've been trying to do better with doing actual recording of my videos. No promises for technical beauty anytime soon, but I'm going to keep working on it. In the meantime, I wanted to just have a chat with you guys. It's a beautiful day out here today. It's stormed like crazy for the past day and a half. But the temperature dropped from like 80 degrees to like something ridiculous, like 60 something. And there's like snowstorms going on in places in the north where no one should live. So anyway, that's my little tangent right now. But I wanted to have a chat about a topic that is pressing on my brain. It has been something that my husband and I have been discussing for months with our pending IVF journey. And that is the fact that there are some really entrenched negative mindsets and attitudes toward infertility in our community, the Black community, donors, egg donors, sperm donors, or surrogates in our community where infertility is concerned. And I know prior to my husband and I getting together for years, I had been on a TTC infertility journey alone. And as a Black woman, I was choosing to be a single mother. I was already a single mother, successful single mother with 3 amazing boys. And so I knew I was up for the challenge of being a single mom. That was a choice I made. But in the pursuit of finding ethnically familiar or culturally familiar sperm donors, it was like worse than pulling eye teeth or finding a needle in a haystack. It was the most arduously daunting, difficult, almost impossible thing to do. In my search, I found that there were absolutely no Black male sperm donors in a lot of the resources I found. There were even less Black female egg donors in the resources I found. Now, at the time, I was not looking for egg donors, but I just kind of took note of the fact that there are not many women in our community who are comfortable with being donors. There are not many men in our community who are comfortable with being donors, which, personal aside, which is kind of strikingly peculiar because there are plenty of men of any ethnicity or ilk who are willing to do the dirty with you for free, risking all sorts of other things going on just to do the deed, but they don't want to be conscious and selfless and donate sperm. For many reasons, I've chatted with men of different age groups, socioeconomic groups, and the reasons for them not donating are as wide and as varied as there are men, but the underlying tone always seemed to be, we don't do that in our community. That's a whole nother video. But what I am saying is that there are women and families and couples who are suffering in our community for infertility, and they don't have resources for compatible, culturally familiar men and women to donate. It's hard for my husband and I to find donors that look like us, that represent our community, that have the same or similar, I gotta get my doggy, that have the same or similar cultural histories as we do. And that's really important when it comes to starting your families, especially if you're an infertile couple. I'm going to my car because it's freezing out here and I gotta sit down. So it's really important. So we started looking around, we started having discussions, my husband and I, about why that is. We started having discussions about where our community could get information and be resources to one another's. And there were very few ethnically familiar resources out there. There were very few support groups in the social media internet space that we came across. There were very few donation groups, egg or sperm, surrogacy groups. And that may be relative to where we're located. It may be relative to a lot of things, but in comparison to our counterparts in other ethnic groups, we are like rock bottom last with the willingness to donate for others in our community. And that is so important, because the misconception is that we as Black women are super fertile. We're ovulating Marys or something, and that the only reproductive health that we need to concern ourselves with outside of maybe fibroids is birth control, because we're so super fertile. That's not the truth. We've been taught to be quiet. We've been taught to stymie ourselves and stifle our feelings and repress our emotions and not have these conversations about infertility and miscarriage and the pain that it causes emotionally when we're not able to do what our bodies were designed by nature to do, when we can't provide our families ourselves, and that it's okay to want help. It's okay to reach out for supports, and we should be able to reach out for supports within our own community without the fear of judgment and condemnation from our societies and our churches. Let's not get on that hypocrisy. Let's not do it. But we should have those resources available to us. We should be kinder and more gentle to one another, men and women. And so my husband and I decided that if we were going to complain about it, because we're on our IVF journey for our own personal reasons, but if we were going to complain about it, we needed to put skin in the game, proverbially speaking, and provide the resources that I had to claw around for years to find for myself, and make it more accessible, make it a normal conversation, as normal as talking about sports or football or what college you're going to or what job you have. Have it be normal, because once we normalize something that has been so tabooed and stigmatized, then it's no longer a taboo or a stigma. You can thank me later for that one. So what we decided to do, in an infinite stroke of genius, is we decided to start a Facebook group. And I'll put the link, I'll do that because everybody does that. I'll put the link down at the bottom for the Facebook group so that you guys can follow if you'd like, join, add content. So what I did is I just tried to roll together about 25 to 40 various resources in a document on the page that gives resources to egg donation groups, co-parenting groups, IVF groups, sperm donation groups, surrogacy groups, websites and whatnot. And I decided to start the conversation. My husband was like, you know, he had never heard of IVF until we got together. He didn't know that there were a few of our men who did take it upon themselves to be donors. I know a few of them who donate for free, who want to help our families build our families without the encumbrances of all the minutia that you hear in the media about the negative stuff in our communities and our families. They just want to help families. Women, men, couples, they just want to help families grow in our community. And so my husband had never heard of Black men donating sperm. Say hi, gamer. This is Game Dog. He is a Lancaster Heeler Chihuahua mix, and he is my little sentry. He's my baby. Hello, Game Dog. And so he had never heard of it, and he was shocked. He was like, Black men don't do that. And so I've been breaking down stereotypes even within my own marriage. And I have the most amazing husband because he listens and he gets it. And he's like, you know what? I never looked at it that way, but that's a valuable thing. He brought the idea to my attention that I should start a Facebook group and that we should, you know, admin it and we should promote this because this is important in our community. There are so many women who feel alone. I felt alone for years. I felt so isolated and so disenfranchised when I started suffering from secondary infertility, and the treatment and the attitudes and the mindsets that I got from the medical staff and professionals here in this country was reprehensible. It was offensive. It was marginalizing. They were downright maligning to me, and that was just me. And I thought it was me personally. It was so awful. I had no supports or known supports in my own community here in the States that it drove me to another country, drove me all the way to Africa. And that's okay, because that's beautiful. That's a whole nother YouTube channel. But it drove me all the way to Africa to seek out reproductive endocrinologists and embryologists and IVF specialists in another country so that I wouldn't be treated horribly, so that I could be treated with respect, and my wants and wishes for a family would be valued. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, I was met with opposition for maternal age, geriatrics, geriatric uterus, advanced maternal age, elderly pregnancy. I mean, I'm not even Christian, but the fuck out of here. I mean, and these are terms that within our community, along with every other label, we're stuck with when we try to pursue, as women, older especially, who need egg donations or additional help in getting pregnant. These are labels we get stuck with, along with not getting the communal supports or the familial supports that we deserve for doing what comes naturally, for following natural human urges. And so it's important for our men to value the building of communities and have an understanding of the building of families outside of your own narrow, selfish perspective. You know, you got all these negative connotations about bad relationships and babies' mothers and babies' fathers. And that's not what 90% of the IVF, TTC, donation, surrogacy journey is about. If that's where your head is, we got to vibrate higher. But you got to do better, and you probably should delay donating for many reasons, but that's a whole nother video too. But right now, I just want to stress that there's nothing wrong with helping. It's needed. There are women that look like me, who talk like me, who come from where I come from, who need help. And it's okay to help. It's okay to donate your sperm. It's okay to donate your eggs. And there are resources in our group that we are more than happy to offer, and questions that we're more than happy to answer in an attempt to get the word out and to build up the line of demarcation between our community and our accessibility to the same medical services as other cultures and their medical services where infertility is concerned. So all that to say, this video is just about, we couldn't find very many donors for our IVF journey. It was like really hard. It was so hard. And I don't want another woman or family or couple or man to feel isolated because the numbers of donors are so limited. So this video is more about just kind of begging our community to kind of like, okay, this is important. Wake up. This is important. It's okay. It shouldn't be taboo. And the things that we stigmatize shouldn't be stigmatized. The world's changed, and families and the looks of families are dynamically different now. It's family's what you make it. And we can't continue to make our families if we aren't willing to help one another. So anyway, that's my 15-minute or so rant. I'm going to end this now. As always, I want you guys to be kind to yourselves, be good to yourselves, love yourselves, forgive yourselves for the things that aren't your fault. Even some of the things that are your fault. Forgive yourselves. And I'll see you on my next video. Say bye, gamer. Game on. Say bye. All right. Love you. Love me. Bye.